Back now to another leading story in business. The coal mine strike could be resolved sooner than was initially feared. This after some workers affiliated to the National Union of Mine Workers have provisionally accepted the 1,000 Rand salary increase offer. Mbongeni Muthwa has been following those talks and he joins us now live. Mbongeni, a very good afternoon to you. Can we expect a signing by the end of today?
Well, I can tell you things are happening here, things are moving, but at this point it's really becoming harder and harder to call it, to say whether indeed, as expected, the NUM is going to formally accept the offer on the table and sign and then call off the strike. When we arrived here this morning, some NUM members were optimistic that indeed after all the mandates or the feedback from the different branches on the ground has been consolidated, the majority of the members would have given a thumbs up to the offer, and then of course we would see a signing later today. But what has since happened is that since about 11:45, the NUM delegation here has been meeting, caucusing, of course putting together all the feedback. And it's taken them up until just a few minutes ago to actually come to the end of that process. Only now they've actually called the employers in to give them the official feedback. We understand that while workers on the ground are happy with the offer on the financial side, as you'd remember, the companies, all the 6 companies, have given an offer ranging from 750 rands to 1,000 rands increase, which is what the NUM has been demanding. So it sounds like members are happy with that, but there's this issue of housing or housing allowances. The NUM has been saying that there is a serious problem in the coal mines, that the housing allowances are still based on apartheid era patterns, where mainly your highest paid white employees get housing allowances of anything between 6,000 even up to 12,000 rands a month just for housing allowance. Of course, it varies from company to company, and they want that to be addressed in this round of negotiations. They want that gap to be closed. So it seems like it's gonna come down to that now. To what extent are the companies prepared to give further concessions? Officially, when the negotiations ended on Friday, the official position of the employers was that companies are committing themselves that they're going to work towards bridging that gap on the housing allowances, but they said it will be left to individual companies to do what they need to do to solve it. It seems there are some members of the NUM on the ground who are not happy with that position. They want a commitment here centrally that the companies, all of them, are going to do 1, 2, 3 to sort that out. If that is sorted out in the hours ahead, of course, it means we will see an agreement being accepted and possibly a signing. If not, it looks like we may not see the end of the strike today or an agreement being signed today. So that's where we are at the moment.
All right. And Mbongeni, are the companies willing to compromise, based on those latest issues that have been raised by the workers?
That is exactly what remains to be seen now. We saw last week on Thursday and Friday when the parties met for the first time since the strike began last week Sunday, that this issue of housing was a major sticking point. In fact, for most of Friday, it was all down to that. Of course, the other companies had agreed that they are committing themselves that they are going to address this matter during the term of the agreement, which is the next 2 years. There was one company which was holding out. It took the whole day for Glencore, one of the big 3 companies, to actually give that commitment to say, yes, we commit ourselves that we're going to do something about this. So even after that had happened, the official position of the employers was that companies would then deal with this matter on an individual basis. It seems like that is what is cropping up right now. How this issue is going to be resolved today, in the hours ahead, that's what remains to be seen at this point. Whether the companies can actually agree that we all commit ourselves that we're going to increase the housing allowance from 3,000 rand currently, so to speak, to 6,000 next year, maybe 8,000 the following year. We understand that the biggest coal company, Anglo Coal, has already committed itself that for NUM members, most of them are getting currently around 4,000 rands a month for housing allowances. Apparently, Anglo Coal has agreed that it's going to increase that to 6,000 in the first year, and then to 8,000 in the second year. The other companies, of course, it would vary as to where actually they are at the moment and how far they are willing to go in addressing this issue. So it's still up in the air at this point as to whether this agreement is going to be tied down today or not.
All right, thanks for that. That's our report on the scene in Mbongeni Muthwa, right outside the Chamber of Mines, and he is reporting on the coal strike.